Okay, so we're back with more factoring, only this time we're going to relate it more to the distributive property. Okay, I feel the best way to teach this principle is actually by working out a couple examples. So I have this example and this example to kind of help me teach this principle right here about factoring and distributive property. First thing we're going to do for this one is break each of these down and try to find the greatest common factor between this 2x squared and this 6x so that we can factor this whole expression as 1. Okay, so we have the 2x squared, and if you break this down, you'll end up with 2 times x times x. So these are all the factors, or the numbers that are multiplied together to get the 2x squared. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the 6x. I'm going to break it down into its prime factors. So we have 2 times 3 times x. Now if you see, the greatest common factor between these are the ones that match, and then you find the total product of them. So I'll have the 2 and the 2 match, and the x and this x match. If you notice, this other x and this other 3 do not match between them. So what I'm going to do is combine these. So the 2x would be the greatest common factor for these two numbers. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this 2x, divide each of these numbers here by this 2x. So you end up with 2x on the outside, and then 2x divided by 2x squared divided by 2x will just be x, plus this 6x divided by 2x would be 3, and you'd end up with this as your complete factored form of this expression up here. Now you can check your work by distributing. So if I take this 2x times x, you end up with 2x squared. If I took this and distributed it here. Then I'm going to do it with the same thing with this 3 over here. You end up with 3 times 2x, which is 6x. And as you can see, it matches what we have at the top. So that's how you know if you got the right answer or not for the factored form. So this would be this expression completely factored. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing only with all variables. Okay, so we have ax plus ay plus bx plus by. Now what I'm going to do is decide what I want to factor these out of. So the greatest common factor between this ax and this bx, I'll just choose x. So I'm going to pull the x out of here. Actually, before I do that, first thing I'm going to want to do is kind of reorder this so it's easier for me to understand. So since it's all adding, I can change the order so it says ax plus bx. So I just move this bx over in here, plus ay plus by. Okay, so now it's a little bit easier for me to work with. Okay, these first two terms here both have x in them, so I'm going to distribute out the x, and you'll have, factor out the x. So then you'll have x times a plus x times b. So it's x times the quantity a plus b, plus, I'm going to factor out the y here because y is the common factor here. So y a plus b. Okay, so this would be the factored form, but I could still actually factor this a little bit further. Instead of factoring with these x's, you could also have factored with the y, with the a's if you wanted. So if we actually kept it as its form originally and factored from there, you would end up with the same answer, but it would look different. So the first thing I'm going to do is factor out this a. So you have x plus y, plus, now I'm going to factor out a b, x plus y. So if you distribute it, you get what you started with. Now if you notice, this and this look the same, but kind of different also. So we have a plus b here, a plus b here. Here we have the x plus y, here we have the x plus y. So whenever this happens, an easy way to simplify it, because it would just be the following. You would just do a plus b in parentheses, so you have this term plus this term, times, so you have this x plus y here, x plus y. And it would be the same thing up here, x plus y, a plus b. Only they kind of just switch spots. Whenever that happens, you can simplify it completely. Okay, so that is factoring and how it's related to distributive property. If you have any questions about this video, let me know.